Hi everybody, my name is Yvette Martel and welcome to Adobe Lightroom Cloud-Base. In this video, we're going to be talking about importing photos. And before we do that, I want to talk about some of the devices you may need in order to get your photos into the application. So way number one might be directly from your camera. On the side of your camera, you have these import and export inputs, and you can take a cord and directly connect that to your computer. Okay, I generally don't do it like this for fear that I might damage these ports, and this camera is way more expensive than a camera card reader. So a camera card reader, this would be an example of one. They look very different in different ways, but fundamentally they're about the same. So here's one right in here. It would have a cord that gets plugged into here, and then that would go into the computer. And then this particular one can do two different devices. You want to make sure that the card reader that you use will work for your camera. Some cameras have specialty card readers. Mine are the kind of basic ones, so an SD or a compact flash. So that's another way. Another way that you could do, which is really handy to have if you have a laptop computer, is through a dongle. So this particular dongle will get plugged into the computer, and in here I have not only card readers built in, but I also have an additional USB and USB 3. Why is this important? Well, one, I always keep this in my bag. Two, my computer only has this sort of input, so it's nice to have this additional one. And then another way would be maybe someone gives you a hard drive or a flash drive. So you could use directly from a hard drive. This is a solid state one. And you can connect that to the computer and then import from there. Another really cool feature would be in Lightroom how we can go into the app itself, and then using a card reader, you would connect your card reader to your phone, open up the Lightroom app, and import directly in there. And so then when you're sitting in front of your computer, those images will be there. So those are the different ways that you can. So from your camera, from a card reader, using a dongle, and using a hard drive. All right, so on part two, we'll actually talk about how to import into the application. All right, everybody, so this is our second part in how to import photos. So first part, we talked about different devices. Now we're gonna go ahead and talk about the actual importing. So I am in the Lightroom app and also have the web in the background. So for the web, just notice that we can import photos right here in the front screen where it says browse. We can just browse through the computer and have it filter through to the SD card or your memory card. You can also import images from Google Photos. This is something that we cannot do in the app. If we are going to also import, another way to do that is simply clicking on Add Photo. So you can do it right here, or you can click on Browse right in there. So let's go into the app, since that's going to be our primary learning space. And up here, you'll notice I have the choice of cloud and local. I'm going to go ahead and upload these to the cloud. And I have my camera card right here, and I'm going to go ahead and import that in, or input that in. So my computer has a card reader built in. So give that a microsecond, and we're going to go ahead and click on Add Photos. Once I add photos, I can either browse, so if you're using a hard drive, or this right here is my SD card. I'll click on that, and we'll start to see the interface as it starts to read the card itself, and all of the images are coming in. Now, we haven't imported these in. These are simply previews. And she's so cute. So this is Annie. Her full name is Annie Log. Little photo pun right in there. And let's just go ahead and look at this really quick. So at the top left-hand side, this is our camera card. Right here in the middle where it says Add to Album and it says None, you can add directly to an album. So if you click on this, you can go to New, and you would label the album. For the lessons, I would keep them labeled very simply. Just label the title of the project that I've assigned to you. So for now, for this lesson, I'm going to keep it None, because I'm going to show you how to do it in and after you import. But know that for the future, I would highly suggest just add them into an album directly. But what's nice to know is that you can do it in the beginning, and you can do it at the end. It doesn't matter. So right here where it says select all of the images are selected. I can cancel this and I can simply add 95 photos. So you'll notice that these photos right in here are just not good at all. So let's simply deselect them. So I click on them and I just go ahead and I deselect them, and these are now not going to be imported in. So then I'm going to go ahead and click on add 89 photos, and I'll slowly start to add that in. So depending on how big your images are, they could take longer, shorter, also depends on your camera card, if you have one that's very fast or if you have one that's so fast. So there's lots of different things that can add to the factors of how fast it downloads, and of course the amount of images that you have. I don't have too many. So they're going ahead and importing in right now. Fantastic, almost done right in there. And the next thing that Lightroom is going to be doing is going to be syncing it up to the cloud-based. So on the top left-hand side, we can click on here and it'll tell us that it's uploading and downloading. So why is that important? Because we are learning this version right in here. So right now we're not going to see any of the images, but slowly in about 5-ish minutes, depending on your internet, all the different factors, your images will be here on this screen too. So from here, we're just going to simply wait this out. All right, so I've gone ahead and reloaded the page, and now I'm in the web version, wanting to see if some of these photos are going to be accessible in the web version. Again, it's dependent on a lot of factors. These photos are fairly large since I just shoot them on RAW, and doesn't look yet like our photos are coming in. So going to take a little bit of time. So what is nice is if you are working, you don't have to wait for your photos to sync up. We are for this lesson just simply because I want to show you how you'll find your images, but let's kind of just start to look and see what we have going on. So one of the things is I like to look at my images from beginning to end, not end to beginning. So right here, I know this was one of my last shots and I know that this is one of my beginning shots. So you're going to organize how you like to organize. But for me, in order to change that, I'm going to click right here and I'm going to reverse the order. So now the things that I shot in the very beginning and the things that I shot at the very end are right there. You are able to start to look at your images if you want to see them in full screen, which I would very much suggest is that you always look at your images. Thumbnails can be deceiving. Things that you think are focus are not in focus. I can also look at the metadata, which is located on the bottom left. That's under info. And what's really nice is you're going to see that copyright is right there. And then it tells me the capture date and the time. So this is information that's embedded in my camera. I can add additional information if I want, like location, city, state, country, GPS. I generally like to keep it a little bit obscure. But also really nice in our feature or info is going to be telling me the camera, the lens that I used, the size of the images, the focal length, my shutter speed, my aperture, and ISO 100. That's going to be really important for the lessons in the future, is this metadata capture. So let's go ahead and switch over to the web. Let's see if any of these images have sunk up yet. So I'm going to just simply reload this page. And we're going to see. Here we got some. Oh, there's an error. Well, let's see. Sync issues. Let's see what's going on in here. There we go. All right. So we have some that are slowly coming in right now. Fantastic. No reason or rhyme I can tell you why it's coming in out of order, but it'll all get fixed once. There's one more 6 right now, so it's coming through. Okay, so all in all, that's going to be our lesson on importing. On the next video, we'll start to learn how to make folders and albums.